Tonight here live at 6 o'clock, the amazing story of a young man who was trapped in an 80,000 bushel grain bin for several hours. Obviously, in that situation, the odds are not very good to survive that, but he did. 23-year-old Eric Baker, alive tonight to tell you all about his story. With that in mind, let's go live right now to KWW reporter Nikki Newbro in our studio. And Nikki, Eric is saying that the special mask he was wearing at the time likely was a big factor in saving his life.
That's right, Ron. Eric Baker was completely under the corn for an hour and 40 minutes. An hour and 40 minutes. Now, he says because of the mask he was wearing that day, he was able to breathe while surrounded by corn.
I kind of okayed it with myself to die. And
Eric Baker was trapped in this grain bin full of 80,000 bushels of moldy corn. He was working to unload it when a large air pocket collapsed under him.
I was completely under for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Rescue crews did everything they could to get Eric out of this bin, including cutting holes in the side of it. But it was his mask that saved him as he was trapped inside this bin.
And there was no sense of time down there, so we'll say maybe 10 minutes after that, I realized I was still breathing. And yeah, that's when I realized the mask is the one that was keeping me breathing still.
Baker said he had been in grain bins 100 times with the Airshield Pro, but this time he credits it for saving his life.
It doesn't make oxygen, it just takes it and passes it through these filters and then just down in the mask so you breathe clean air.
According to the company Trend, the mask was actually made for woodworking, but Baker's dad bought it for him in a farm show in Minnesota, hoping it would help with his asthma.
I was a little embarrassed, actually. It's like, this is a pretty big item to go into a grain bin with. It's like, my God, I'm not a little child, but one of the best purchases he's ever made.
The Bakers contacted Trend to tell them about Eric's ordeal. The company was surprised, to say the least.
Certainly glad he purchased it and glad he had it on. And I don't think it was designed to save anyone's life, but it certainly did the trick for him.
Eric's goal now? Try to encourage others to purchase the mask.
Maybe we'll save another life, and I won't be the only one to survive being fully submerged after maybe a year or two.
And Eric hopes he can get clearance from the company to sell the mask at the Iowa State Fair. And if you're looking to purchase the Airshield Pro, it's nearly $400. Ron, back to you.
Okay, thanks very much, Nikki. By the way, we did talk, I know you talked to an engineering specialist at Iowa State University today, and he told Nikki that Eric's mask probably was a factor, maybe only a small factor, but nonetheless a factor in him surviving that accident. But he also added that any additional safety equipment can also help someone survive that kind of near tragedy.